Want to be a better team, they need to form some type of identity. I don't know which team I'm looking at sometimes. Sometimes they play fabulous basketball, even on the defensive end, and tonight it looked like it was, lackluster efforts.
I know it's traditional, but I think the Lakers need to play some zone until they figure out. Play some zone.
Well, when you play zone, that's a throwing up the white flag, red flag, blue flag.
Watching that game last night, and I was a teammate with LeBron James, grew up playing against him, played with him in AAU, McDonald's All-American. I know this man. When he's not engaged or he feels some type of way, it speaks in his body language. Last night, his body language was awful. He was not engaged. He was pouting. He was moping. He was walking up and down the damn floor. He was complaining. And I just think we're to this point. What LeBron and the Lakers their relationship has run its course. And they need to figure out a solution. And the solution is not him being in the Los Angeles Lakers uniform.
The Lakers just dropped 3 straight games, and everyone is tiptoeing around the obvious issue like it's not staring them in the face. LeBron James is still in Los Angeles, and yeah, it's officially time to have that conversation. Nobody wants to admit it, but the Kings' reign in LA has clearly hit its expiration date. Acting like everything is fine is just pushing off what everyone already knows is coming. Ever stay in a situation way longer than you should just because admitting it's over feels heavy? Drop a comment, because that's exactly where the Lakers are with LeBron right now. The denial is loud, and everybody outside the building can see it clear as day. The Lakers just got flat out embarrassed by the Houston Rockets, 119-96, locking in their 3rd straight loss and exposing all the stuff that's been getting swept under the rug. This team is not clicking. And right in the middle of it all is LeBron James, who finished with 18 points in a 21-point blowout loss. 18. That's the box score of someone coasting, not the guy who's supposed to be steering a franchise toward a title run. Now let's get into the cold truth that even the broadcast crew couldn't ignore. Charles Barkley didn't sugarcoat it when he said, "The Lakers can't stop a bloody nose defensively." That's not exaggeration, that's film. The Lakers opened the season 19-7, which looked shiny on paper, but now they're sitting at 19-10, and even their point differential has been shaky. That early record was smoke and mirrors. They were scraping by in close games, and now that the league's adjusting, they're getting exposed night after night. One analyst straight up called their record fraudulent, and honestly, that word fits way too well. The standings lied, but the tape never does. They can't guard anyone. They have zero defensive backbone, and when pressure hits, they completely fold. That's not a championship squad. That's not even a serious conference finals threat. That's a first-round exit waiting to happen, plain and simple. The broadcast even showed the Rockets running what looked like basic 3-on-2 drills in transition. High school level stuff. That's how bad the Lakers' transition defense has been. And LeBron, who's always talked about IQ, control, and leadership, is right there on the floor watching it happen. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. LeBron James is 40 years old. He's the NBA's all-time leading scorer. He's got 4 championships. He's one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. But his days as the centerpiece of a championship-level team are done.
What did you see overall in the game, kind of starting in that first quarter on the glass and the turnovers, and how that prevailed through it?
Yeah, the two words of the day were effort and execution. And I feel like when we've done both of those things at a high level, we've been a good basketball team. When we haven't, we're a terrible basketball team. And tonight we were a terrible basketball team. And that started legitimately right away.
That's not disrespect, that's reality. Father Time doesn't negotiate, and nobody outruns him forever. The bigger issue is that the Lakers have built their entire operation around keeping LeBron comfortable. They signed his son, Bronny, creating the league's first father-son duo, which is a powerful and historic moment for the James family. But strictly from a basketball standpoint, it shows where priorities shifted. Decisions are being driven by legacy and storyline, not by what actually raises the team's ceiling. Bronny isn't ready for consistent NBA minutes yet, and that's not a knock. It's development. Everyone around the league understands that, but he's on the roster because of who his father is, not because he forces his way into the rotation on merit alone. They've surrounded this group with role players like Austin Reeves, who left this game with a calf strain that could easily turn into something more serious. That's another blow to a roster already stretched thin. Jard Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart are supposed to be the defensive anchors, but analysts pointed out something uncomfortable. When those guys are on the floor, the offense stalls hard. It's a real catch. 22 that JJ Redick is trying to juggle, and right now it's blowing up in his face. And speaking of JJ Redick, let's talk about the coaching setup. The Lakers hired a first-year head coach with zero professional coaching experience and handed him one of the most complex locker rooms in sports. That's not development. That's pressure with no safety net. So when things go sideways, and they clearly are, who's really calling the shots? Is it Redick or is it LeBron, who's had a reputation throughout his career for heavy involvement in roster and coaching dynamics? That question is getting louder by the game. The broadcast pointed out that the Lakers' offensive rating with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves on the floor ranks 7th in the league. Sounds solid, right? Until you hear the other half. Their defensive rating in those same lineups is 24th. 24th. That means they can score? Sure, but they can't stop anyone. And in today's NBA, where speed, spacing, and perimeter athleticism rule everything, that's a death sentence. Younger, faster, hungrier teams are running them right off the floor. The Rockets, an inconsistent team without a true starting point guard, walked into Crypto.com Arena and made the Lakers look completely overwhelmed.
LeBron, by the way, in 18.9.
Oh my gosh.
It's just too much of that action. And all God's people said,
Amen,
brother.
High school 3-on-2 break.
Amen, brother.
119 to 96 is your final. Lakers for the first time this season.
Alperen Sengun put up a double-double. Amen. Thompson had analysts saying he absolutely ruined them. Nobody could stay in front of him. And let's be clear, this wasn't a fluke performance. The Rockets got wherever they wanted on the court. That's embarrassing for a team that claims it's chasing championships. Here's the part fans don't want to hear. LeBron is part of the problem. Not all of it, but definitely part of it. At 40, he can't deliver elite two-way basketball every night anymore. He still flashes scoring bursts, but the defensive intensity isn't consistent. Transition defense slips. Closeouts get lazy. And when your best player isn't setting the defensive tone, the whole team follows that energy. One analyst summed it up perfectly. You cannot survive in today's NBA without perimeter athleticism. Big names don't save you anymore. Speed, effort, and movement rule the game now. And if you don't have it on the outside, you're cooked. That description fits the Lakers way too clean, and that's the uncomfortable reality they keep avoiding. They simply don't have the athletic juice to hang with the elite teams in the league. And as legendary as LeBron has been, he's no longer the explosive force he once was. That part matters whether people like it or not. The idea that the Lakers should lean into zone defense is both funny and sad at the same time. One analyst nailed it when he said playing zone is basically throwing up the red flag, white flag, blue flag, all at once. That's code for admitting you can't guard anybody straight up. You're not dictating terms, you're hiding weaknesses with diagrams and hope. Championship teams don't do that. Teams in panic mode do that. Tim Doyle didn't dance around it either when he said the Lakers have a 0.0 chance of winning an NBA championship. 0.0. That sounds harsh, but look at the facts. They're 19, 10, barely above .500 in impact with a flat point differential. They're getting blown out by teams they're supposed to compete with.
Offensively, with those three guys on the floor, they have the 7th best offensive rating in the NBA. However, that defensive rating is 24th, and you saw it today. The Rockets got anywhere they wanted to go. They could not get a stop. KD goes for 25. Alperen Sengun has a double-double. Amen Thompson absolutely ruined those guys. Nobody could stop him today. And so if you're the Lakers, that has to be sort of worrisome for you that you can't get any defensive stops. Their best two defensive players are Jared Vanderbilt and Marcus Smart, but you have those guys on the floor. Now all of a sudden you're a little offensively challenged. I know Jared Vanderbilt had a pretty good game offensively tonight. We've seen flashes from Marcus Smart offensively this season, but it's sort of a catch-22 for JJ Redick about how he mixes
and nothing, absolutely nothing, suggests their defensive problems are about to magically disappear. This team is like someone who looks amazing on a dating profile. Great pictures, strong bio, big promises. Then you meet them in real life and realize there's way too much baggage to ignore. That analogy fits the Lakers perfectly right now. The uncomfortable truth is that LeBron's presence is blocking the Lakers from doing what they actually need to do. Rebuild. They can't fully invest in young players because every move has to serve LeBron's timeline. They can't think long-term because the pressure to win now never stops. So they're stuck in the worst place you can be in sports. Not good enough to win a title. Not bad enough to land top draft picks. Just floating in the middle with no real direction. And let's be real, LeBron isn't retiring anytime soon. Why would he? He's still earning max level money. He's playing alongside his son. He's comfortable in Los Angeles. And he's chasing records and milestones that pad an already historic resume. That's what's best for LeBron. But what's best for LeBron right now is not what's best for the Lakers as a franchise. Those two paths have officially split, and the organization hasn't had the courage to admit it. Avery Johnson casually mentioned staying at the same hotel as the Lakers and talking to staff and players, and what he heard says everything. They know they're bad defensively, especially on the perimeter. In a recent game, they gave up scores on the first 13 possessions of the third quarter. 13 straight. That's not bad defense. That's no defense. That's no communication. No urgency, no pride in getting stops. And when effort disappears like that, it points straight to a culture problem. LeBron is the leader of this team by default. His resume makes that automatic. But at 40 years old, logging heavy minutes, carrying the wear and tear of 21 NBA seasons, can he really bring the nightly energy, accountability, and edge this team needs? Based on what we're watching, the answer looks like no. And here's why this matters more in LA than anywhere else. The Lakers don't celebrate small wins. They don't hang division banners. They don't throw parades for first-round exits. This franchise measures success by championships, period. And this version of the Lakers is not winning a title. Everyone knows it. Fans know it. Analysts know it. The only people acting confused are the ones in the front office. What should happen is simple, even if it's uncomfortable. The Lakers need to sit down with LeBron and have an honest, grown-up conversation about what's best for everyone. Maybe that means trading him to a contender where he can contribute in a smaller role and chase one more ring.
What kind of read do you have on the Lakers right now?
Yeah, the Lakers might be, that record might be a little fraudulent, right? Because they were 19-9 going to today's game. Sounds good, right? Well, now they're 19-10. And if you look at their point differential, it was barely above even. And so there's some cracks showing here because you do have Luka, you have LeBron, and Austin Reeves. But Austin Reeves left the game with a calf strain, and you have to be really careful with those things, right? Because calf strains can be tricky. They can flare into Achilles, and then all of a sudden you're lost for the season. So they're going to be really careful with him.
Maybe it means he retires and transitions into a front office or ownership role. Maybe it means finishing his career somewhere else entirely. And the Lakers finally hit reset instead of wasting another year pretending this build makes sense. But what's actually going to happen? They'll probably make a couple minor moves before the trade deadline. Shuffle role players, convince themselves that getting healthy fixes everything, sneak into the playoffs, and bow out in the first or second round. Then next season, it's the same movie on repeat, trying to figure out how to build around a 41-year-old LeBron who's another year older, another step slower, another season deeper into the grind. The broadcast even mentioned that LeBron heads into the Christmas game as the NBA's career leader in Christmas games played with 19 and total points scored on the holiday with 507. Incredible milestones, legendary stuff. But milestones don't win championships. And that's the part the Lakers keep refusing to face. Those accomplishments are incredible, truly historic. Records like that might never be touched again. But here's the uncomfortable part. They're backward-looking stats. They celebrate what LeBron has done, not what he's realistically able to do moving forward. And that's where the Lakers keep getting it twisted. This franchise has to start making decisions based on the future, not the past. One analyst said the Lakers might need more help, but questioned whether they can even add anything meaningful before the deadline. And that opens up the real question nobody wants to answer. What can they actually add that turns this team into a real championship threat? A role player isn't fixing broken perimeter defense. A backup big isn't suddenly making this roster faster or more athletic. This team needs a full structural reset, and you can't do that while locking max money into a 40-year-old player, no matter how legendary his resume is. This isn't about disrespect. It's not about tearing down LeBron's legacy. That legacy is already cemented in stone. This is about being honest about where the Lakers are right now and what it actually takes to get back to championship-level basketball. And the truth is simple. With LeBron as the centerpiece, they're not getting there. They're stuck in the middle, winning just enough games to sneak into the playoffs. Not bad enough to reset. Not good enough to scare anyone once they're in. This 3-game losing streak isn't some random slump. It's just the latest proof of what's been obvious all season. The Lakers are not a real contender. That early record fooled people. The results didn't. The LeBron era in LA needs to come to a close so both sides can move forward. LeBron can go chase one more ring as a high-impact contributor instead of carrying the whole load. And the Lakers can finally start building their next championship core without bending every decision around a 40-year-old superstar. But that's where pride steps in. Ending the LeBron era means admitting it didn't unfold the way everyone imagined back in 2018. It means acknowledging that 6 years in LA produced one bubble championship. And let's be real, that's not the Lakers standard. This franchise lives by banners, not sentiment. But having those conversations requires backbone. It requires making unpopular calls. And franchises, especially image-driven ones like the Lakers, rarely move first. Something has to give. Everyone watching can see it. The question is how long the Lakers stay frozen before reality forces their hand. Hit that like button and subscribe for more honest NBA breakdowns that keep it real every time. And thank you very much for watching.